Now that we know everything about video editing and the basics of color theory, we're going to move on to sound within editing. So what is sound design and why is it important that we use it in all of our videos? So sound design is when you take different audio tracks and balance them in a way that can make the audience feel like they are in your video. For example, if you have a video montage of your travels at the beach, with the right sound design, you can make the videos look really relatable and your audience will feel like they are in that beach with you. So it's about taking a look at the element inside your video and putting the corresponding noises together in your timeline. So in the beach example, I would have to put the noise of seagulls, maybe some people talking in the back, or anything else that's within the video. Putting those different audio tracks in my footage is going to make my video not only better, but more professional. So in the following lessons, we're going to learn about different examples of sound design and how we can use the design to make our videos look better. Before that, let's take a look at what sound design looks like in Premiere Pro. So for sound design, you would be occupying the audio tracks that are present inside your timeline. If I just make a sequence, you can see we have video tracks and audio tracks. So every sort of design that I do will be right in this area. And I would just be bringing in different audio tracks, whether it's a sound effect, a soundtrack, voiceover, and so on. Then I would have to balance it with what's happening in the video tracks above. So what the audience sees and what they hear is corresponding. Let's head to Google and see what a professional timeline will look like when we have sound design. If you search this on Google, you're going to see many examples of what professional timelines look like. So you can see that it's pretty crowded. Look at this. They have around 64 different video tracks, each one with audio, and separately they have some audio tracks, which we can't really see the rest, but essentially this is what it looks like. You're putting different sounds from either a video or an audio track together. You have trimmed them, split them, and just placed them next to each other. And when the audience just sees this video, it's going to feel so relaxing and essentially more understanding. Here is another example. We got many more to look at. So these examples are what Hollywood editors do, which is pretty advanced, but in the following lessons, we're going to see how we can get started on creating a more professional timeline for our videos. So first, let's learn about the different types of sound. So the most basic type of sound that I'm sure you've all used in your videos before is music. When it comes to music, we have different categories. So we have instrumental, which means that there's only instruments playing in that song, and there is no one singing or talking. Secondly, we have vocals only, which means that there's no instruments and it's just someone singing. And thirdly, we have both of those combined, which is instruments and vocals. So the first one is music, our first type. The second type of audio is voiceovers. Now, voiceovers can be anything. They can be a poem, a speech, a regular conversation, a discussion, or just anything else that comes from a person's mouth in a raw format. So with voiceovers, you're not really adding any autotune or any other editing. It's mostly about the person's voice and how it's going to be blended into your clip. So that's our second type, voiceovers. Third type is soundtracks. So soundtracks are essentially music created for that video. Soundtracks are usually quite long, and you would just play them throughout your entire clip or for a small section. Sound effects are a lot more shorter that we hear in our daily lives. Bird noise, rain noises, and things like that you could just blend into your music and your voiceovers. Now, when it comes to sound effects, we have organic effects, like the examples that I mentioned, bird noises, thunder, and all that, Other times we have artificially produced sound effects, meaning that a person is recreating a sound that would usually not be heard in real life. For example, alien noises, monster noises, and all of that. These are artificially produced by humans, sometimes using simple objects, other times using technology. Moving forward with the lessons, we're going to be using all of these different sounds, putting them together in our timeline, editing them and adding transitions to them, just as we would with video. So let's take a look at an example of sound design. I have the opening scene from the movie Dunkirk, and I want you guys to listen to all the audios within this video, then guess how many different soundtracks the editors had to put in. So let's analyze this. We can see papers falling from the sky, and we can hear the paper's movement. Apart from that, we're getting this creepy, ominous noise in the background. And when the subjects are running away, we can hear their footsteps, we can hear that epic music in the back, the sound of gunshots, and the subjects panting. So these are many different sounds placed on top of each other to have the audience be engaged with what's happening. Now imagine the scene where these subjects are running away, but only with some epic music. You will not feel as nearly as engaged as you would with the other sound effects. So this was an example of what sound design looks like and the effects that it can have on the audience. Moving forward, we're going to create different examples where we take different audios, put them together in relevance to what's happening in our videos. So without further ado, let's get started with our first example.